the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Coming up on the news at noon, a late night in D.C. leaves 5 people injured and 1 dead. We'll have the latest on the investigation. A play that has stunned the world, the latest after Buffalo Bills player Damar Hamlin suffered from a cardiac arrest during Monday night's game. How people are reacting today. And later, the man suspected of killing 4 people in Idaho has his first day in court. What we are expecting to hear. And good afternoon. Thank you for joining us for the news at noon. I'm Mark Hall. We begin with a check on the forecast. Meteorologist Damon Matson joins us with the latest on the forecast. Damon, could we break a record today with the warm weather that we've been having?
Well, Mark, we are certainly going to get close, if anything else, as those temperatures continue to be on the extremely mild side. And on top of that, we have some rainfall moving into the picture. We'll have the latest on those near record temperatures and where you'll find some soggy weather this afternoon coming up here in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thank you very much. A violent night in Southeast D.C. 6 people shot, 1 dead, all within 4 hours. The most recent shooting at a metro station. DC News Now's Lex Juarez brings an update on the investigation and what community members are saying.
Well, a 17-year-old is dead and a 14-year-old recovering after being shot at the bus base here at the Congress Heights Metro Station. You can see Metro Transit police out here making their presence known to commuters today. The shooting happened just after 10 o'clock last night. A Metro employee actually called it in after hearing the shots, and police were on the scene in less than 5 minutes. The teenager was already unresponsive and died at a local hospital. Police believe it was targeted, and this is the first homicide in D.C. this year.
I see it too often. I'm tired of having to come to these shootings. We have to learn as a community how to resolve our problems and our issues peacefully and without gun violence.
And while Metro Transit police are making their presence known, D.C. police has taken over the investigation.
It's a really heartbreaking thing to hear. I'm not really, my mind is a little bit frazzled right now. I don't know the best thing to say, but hopefully that there's some healing that goes on in the community from something like this.
A mile away from a shooting that happened 4 hours before at 23rd Street and Alabama Avenue. At that shooting, 1 man and 1 teenage boy were shot, and there was a second shooting that happened just under 5 miles away around 6 o'clock where a man was shot on F Street Southeast. Police are looking for a red sedan that they say sped away from that scene on F Street. Now, all of these shootings are still under investigation. Police looking for any suspects or information as they continue those investigations. They are asking that community members, if they see anything, to say something, or if they know of anything with these incidences, to please reach out to the police department. They also ask that community members keep their heads on a swivel and stay vigilant as they are out and about in the streets and in the community. Of course, as we have an update on these investigations, we'll bring them to you both here and online. In Southeast D.C., I'm Lex Juarez, DC News Now.
Lex, thank you. Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin remains in a critical condition this afternoon. He suffered cardiac arrest and collapsed on the field. It happened during last night's game against the Cincinnati Bengals. Bills players gathered around him to pray as he laid on the field getting CPR. After 19 minutes, Hamlin was finally put into an ambulance and driven off the field. The game was postponed in a decision by the NFL and the NFL Players Association. The ambulance seen here rushed Hamlin to the University of Cincinnati Medical Center, where he remains this afternoon. Hamlin's teammate Stefon Diggs was seen walking into the hospital center after the game. Several other players remained in Cincinnati to stay close to Hamlin. Fans at the game were clearly shocked at the incident. Some stayed to light candles and share prayers for the 24-year-old. The Bills put out an official statement just a couple of hours ago. It reads, Damar Hamlin suffered a cardiac arrest following a hit in our game versus the Bengals. His heartbeat was restored on the field, and he was transferred to the UC Medical Center for further testing and treatment. He's currently sedated and listed in critical condition. Hamlin is a Pennsylvania native. He attended high school in Pittsburgh, then played college ball at the University of Pittsburgh, or Pitt, where he earned team captain honors in his senior season. The Bills drafted him in the 6th round in the 2021 draft. He became one of the team's starting safeties earlier this season. And we will bring you any updates when we receive more information on his condition. Damar Hamlin's family released a statement this afternoon saying that we want to express our sincere gratitude for the love and support shown to Damar during this challenging time. We're deeply moved by the prayers and kind words and donations from fans around the country. We're learning more details about the man accused of fleeing the Secret Service and hitting 2 women near the White House Friday evening and killing one of them. Our Cheyenne Corin covers Montgomery County, where this man was convicted of a previous crime. She has more on these new developments.
A wild crash near the White House Friday night left 1 woman dead and another in critical condition. It happened at the intersection of 14th Street and New York Avenue in D.C. Investigators say Spiros Stafalatos was behind the wheel. Metropolitan Police told us Secret Service officers on bikes approached Stafalatos' Buick because of tag issues. They said that when officers approached and asked Stafalatos for his license, he sped off, hit another car, then spun out and hit the 2 women walking.
It's alarming, and I'm trying to tell my people you need to get a heads up all the time. Especially, I was really worried about all the pedestrians. According
to the affidavit, Stafalatos tested positive for cocaine and marijuana, and officers reported seeing what appeared to be an open bottle of beer. Court documents also reveal that Stafalatos told officers he feared for his life and thought the Secret Service was an armed robber. Officers also said he told them he has a mental disability.
It's a very bad situation because people are not really safe. So I was really not happy with that.
Stafalatos is now being charged with second-degree murder and aggravated assault for hitting the 2 women Friday. But we're learning this wasn't his first run-in with police. Stafalatos was convicted of a 2020 armed robbery in White Oak, Maryland. Now, this is surveillance video from Montgomery County Police. It shows Stafalatos concealing merchandise in his sweatshirt and threatening the clerk by flashing a knife. Now, how much time he served for that crime is unclear from court documents available, but he was sentenced to 207 days with 3 years suspended.
The area is making us not feeling like comfortable like before. So we are still like scared.
Reporting in White Oak, I'm Cheyenne Corin for DC News Now.
Investigators in Loudoun County arrested 24-year-old Angus Brown, who's accused of stabbing his father to death. It happened on Twin Oaks Place in Hamilton at around 6 a.m. yesterday. Detectives pronounced the father dead on scene. Brown is charged with second-degree murder and is being held without bond. Well, happening now, a new Congress began its first meeting of the year. The first order of business, electing a Speaker of the House. And there is division in the Republican Party over whether to elect California Congressman Kevin McCarthy. With a narrow majority, McCarthy cannot afford to lose more than a few votes and currently doesn't have the support of several members from his own party. If he is elected, Democrats are hopeful that that narrow majority leaves room for Republicans to compromise.
If Mr. McCarthy wants to, quote, play hardball, he's going to need a few moderate Democrats in order to pass anything. He's got a 4-seat majority. That's really narrow.
Experts say regardless who's elected Speaker, both parties will need to work together on legislation since Democrats remain in control of the Senate and the White House. And the new year means new leadership in the district. Dozens of people took oath of office yesterday, from Mayor Muriel Bowser to council members to advisory neighborhood commissioners. One of them is now one of the youngest people to ever be elected in D.C. Mario Carbone takes a closer look.
From study sessions to commission meetings, Quentin Colon Roosevelt will have his hands full this year.
It's sort of scary, definitely, and there's a lot of weight on my shoulders because I am, the representation of young people in the D.C. government right now.
At just 18, he's one of the youngest elected officials ever in D.C. after winning a spot on his advisory neighborhood commission in Ward 3 back in November.
It's exhilarating. I'm also very honored. I'm very honored my neighbors, decided that I was fit to serve them.
Monday, he signed his oath of office, but unlike his fellow commissioners, he'll serve while finishing his senior year of high school.
I just got done with all the college application stuff. I'm feeling relieved.
The newcomer says it's important to get more young people involved in the political process.
I think we have sort of overrepresentation of the older generations and definitely an underrepresentation of Gen Z.
ANC 3D represents neighborhoods like Spring Valley, Kent, and Palisades, and helps advise district council on local issues. Colon Roosevelt says his focus focus will be on improving education and transportation in Ward 3.
It does feel really empowering to be the voice of my friends, of my neighbors, of all of that stuff. So I'm ready, I'm willing to serve, I'm ready to make my community better.
And that was Mariel Carbone reporting the ANC seats are for 2-year terms and they're unpaid. Roosevelt is attending high school online, so he says that should give him more flexibility to manage his new role. Well, the first Mega Million winner of the new year will be a big one after no one won that $685 million drawing on Friday. The top prize estimated to be $785 million for tonight's drawing. Jackpot, largest since the $2 billion Powerball prize back in November. Mega Millions has said the jackpot has only topped $700 million 3 times. All 3 times, the number eventually surpassed $1 billion.